Guys, it's time to get real about the luxury market. That's right. So if you're a buyer and you're looking at $1 million plus home, we're going to talk today about some of the things you need to consider before you start shopping. Okay. First of all, you need to get pre-approved. You really do. And a lot of times I'll hear people say, well, I make $500,000 a year. I've got $2 million in the bank. Like, I don't think I need to get pre-approved. I know I qualify. Guys, jumbo loans have a lot of different requirements to them. A lot of them are nonsensical. So for instance, you could make $500,000 a year. You could have $2 million in the bank, and maybe you only use one credit card. If you only have one trade line, there's a lot of jumbo lenders that will not do your loan regardless of this. No joke. Jumbo, I always refer to as Alice in Wonderland. There's a lot of rules that you couldn't even make up. And if you're like, well, I don't want to get pre-approved, you shouldn't be shopping. It's that simple, because the other thing is people go, well, I'll get approved when I find a house I like. Guys, luxury sellers, like, here's the thing. If someone's selling their house for $3 million, do you think they want to take the gamble on someone who didn't even get a pre-approval? Like, how serious are they going to consider you when you didn't even bother to get pre-approved? Most jumbo buyers are going to have a fully underwritten pre-approval. If I have a jumbo buyer, they go shopping with a fully underwritten pre-approval. You know why? The seller needs to know they're serious. I need to be able to call that seller and say, hey, look, we have verified everything. They are good. We just need a title and an appraisal, and we will close this. Okay. Now, the other reason is payment and closing costs. A lot of times I'll hear, well, I did an online calculator. The online calculators are super wrong. Super wrong. It's not taking into consideration, you'll say, well, I put in a down payment and this is what it gave me. Guys, it's going to depend on what investor is ultimately doing your loan. Okay. And there's so many caveats. It's like, a lot of people who are doing jumbo, a good percentage, sometimes they'll have income like restricted stock units, or there may be different layers of how they're getting paid. All of that needs to be looked at. Okay, because you may be looking at the payment saying, I can afford this, but an underwriter might look at it differently. So those online calculators are often incorrect as well with homeowners insurance. Like, dramatically wrong with homeowners insurance. I was on the phone with a client playing with a scenario on Zillow. Like, we were just having a little bit of fun. And so we were doing 4 million with $1 million down. What is the payment that Zillow would give us? Zillow had $130 a month for homeowners insurance. This was like Florida by the beach. There is no way that homeowners insurance is going to be $130. But unless you're a lender, unless you're highly, tied into what's going on with homeowner insurance premiums across the country, you're going to look at that payment and be like, oh, that's fine. Cool. It was also pulling in current taxes, and the county that this property was in, they reassess at closing. So this had taxes at about 1% based off of an old value, and the value was actually going to be 2% off of the new value. That payment difference was dramatic. And look, even if the person can afford the dramatic payment difference, don't you want to know about it before you find your dream house? Seriously, like, don't you want to know what that payment's likely to be before you find that dream house? I would say yes. Okay. So look, a standard part of the process is we get you fully underwritten, and then we go through what to expect with closing costs, what to expect with taxes, ballpark on insurance. But at the same, I urge every client, and this doesn't matter if you're jumbo or non-jumbo, I urge you to get a homeowner's insurance quote. And you may go, well, Jen, I don't have a house yet. Guys, if you see a house that you like online, just get a quote on that one. Call State Farm, call Nationwide and say, hey, I'm thinking of writing an offer on this house. I need to have a ballpark of where my insurance would be. Most of them will give you a basic quote so that you know what to expect. They'll also go through all the questions. When you're picking out homeowners insurance, there's a lot of questions, and things to choose from, like, what deductible do you want? Do you want extra coverage for anything specific? Should you be considered, if you don't have an umbrella policy, should you be considering getting one? If you're in that upper category, probably Probably, right? And these are all questions that they're going to ask. Getting a homeowner's insurance quote is a big deal, and you need to understand all the decisions that you're going to be required to make so that you can make educated and empowered decisions. So I would strongly be advising getting an insurance quote. There's certain parts of the country where you can have some serious problems, like, California, in some of the fire areas, you may not be able to insure that property for the full amount. It can be a problem. So you really want to be aware of this. And by getting pre-approved before you go shopping, you should be speaking with a lender who's opening your eyes to all the different things to look out for. So the purpose of this video was for you guys to realize, even if you're jumbo, you got to get fully underwritten and approved. And then you need to be working with a lender who's going to go through what to expect with closing costs line by line and what to expect with that housing payment. Because I have to tell you guys, as someone who does this every day, that housing payment, 8 out of 10 times is shocking. 8 out of 10 times. Yeah. And it's not because of the rate. It's because people are looking at calculators that are doing the taxes and insurance wrong. It's that simple. So I hope this video has been helpful. I am licensed in 48 states and happy to help. We actually do have Sarah, who's my sister, on my team, who is a jumbo expert. And guys, the stuff she goes through with you is next level. So please feel free to reach out. We are here to help you.